Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 wrestling talk show in the whole entire world. This is Ringside With Gio to bring you your Tuesday night SmackDown live review. And like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of things to cover. But before I get into that, I want to cover something real quick. And that is regarding the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. You know, I remember when people would always say that The Undertaker is Vince McMahon's greatest creation. If WWE uses The Fiend correctly, I'm going to say it right now, this can arguably be Vince McMahon's greatest creation. I don't know if he came up with The Fiend. I'm pretty sure he did. It's Vince McMahon. He has a big say on everything. But I really do believe if The Fiend is used correctly, like I'm talking about no hiccups, none of that. You use him right. For the rest of his career, you cannot mess it up. This might go down as the greatest, not even one of, the greatest creation Vince McMahon has ever made. Like, you know, Seth, I hope he beats Seth Rollins. I'm a big Seth Rollins guy. You guys know this. But, you know, Seth Rollins right now, he isn't getting that type of love that he used to from the fans, and you can see it. Why? I'll tell you why. Overexposure. Overexposure is the biggest problem with WWE today. Look at NXT. Look at what they do with their talent. You don't see Adam Cole every week on TV. You don't see the Velveteen Dream every week on TV. You don't see Keith Lee, Roderick Strong. You don't see Shayna Baszler. You don't see all these wrestlers every single week. You see different ones. It's original. Once Adam Cole comes out, you're like, oh yes, he's back. Like, you're excited to see him again because you haven't seen him in a while. You see Seth Rollins every week on Monday Night Raw TV. The suicide dives, the super kicks, the curb stomps, the frog splashes. You see him every week, and fans are probably saying like, look, I'm okay with seeing Seth Rollins wrestle every week. You all know this if you've seen the past videos. I believe he's arguably the best wrestler in the world, one of the best wrestlers for sure, if not. But you know, I'm okay with seeing Seth Rollins wrestle every week. Okay, he's a great wrestler, but I understand in the let's just say in the general fan area type, for example. Like I understand them. You see him every single week. It's just not going to be the same, and that is the biggest problem with WWE: overexposure. And they got to do it more like how NXT does it. Don't overexpose these guys. Don't. Because then they get boring to watch. That's the biggest problem right now with Seth Rollins. Now, I'm not saying that Seth Rollins has fallen in territory that they're just going to boom when he comes out. He's just not getting that same type of reaction that he used to get back in, for example, 2017, 2018, 2016. He's just not. He's just not. He's getting used every single week, and I understand. So, now let's get into the SmackDown Live review. Now, the show opens up with Rowan and Harper's beatdown on Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. Erick Rowan comes to the ring. He says that he hopes the fans like the recap package because what he does is annihilate. He says he's a creator and what he does is command respect. He says the fans see him as less than human, but that has changed because might makes right. He says that those who destroy and dominate are the ones who are right, and Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan knows he's right. Then Daniel Bryan comes out and he interrupts Erick Rowan, and he's like, you know, Rowan, I'm gonna get like he gets in the ring with him, and he picks a fight with Rowan. He wants Rowan to fight him right now, and I just love how this show started. The show started off with a bang, and as soon like the clapping, and as soon as Daniel Bryan came into the ring, he just looked straight at Erick Rowan. You want to fight? Let's do this. Referee comes out. Bryan is looking at Erick Rowan like he's about to like just destroy him. Bell rings, and I just love it. The stare down between Rowan and Daniel Bryan. The referee standing here, like holding these two off right before the match starts. The fans engaging with the match, getting the match pumped up. You're watching this from home, and you're like, okay, you know what? Let me get out of my seat for this. Well, let me stand up for this. I don't think you should really be standing for a Daniel Bryan and Erick Rowan match, but you do you. But you could just be like, you're sitting up on this and you're like, okay, let's do this. The match starts, and as soon as the match starts, Rowan wins via pinfall with the 2 claws, but I'll tell you why. This was actually a really good match. So, Daniel Bryan kept on targeting the knees of Erick Rowan. He kept on going to that, and he caught his knees, and on the ring post, he just kept on slamming them and slamming them. Then Luke Harper comes out to distract Daniel Bryan. And Harper, Daniel Bryan might get idiot of the night because Daniel Bryan's been a veteran already for a long time in the business. Why doesn't he turn around when, why is he just staying on Harper? He should know Rowan is going to, get back to himself and then attack Daniel Bryan. He's going to attack him. Instead, Daniel Bryan is just looking at Luke Harper. Daniel Bryan is outside of the ring, and Luke Harper is also by the announce table. And Daniel Bryan is just looking at him. Erick Rowan comes from behind, picks him up on his head, brings him back up, and he's about to hit Daniel Bryan down. And I cringed so hard when he hit him with the two claws. Well, not the 2 claws, the first claw. When he just slammed him with that first claw, because Daniel Bryan's back of the head, I know he's had that injury, and as soon as he slammed, I don't know why. You have to go back and watch it. I've only seen it once. I haven't looked at the replay. But when he hit Bryan and when Bryan landed on the ground, I felt like his head went first, and I was like, oh no. Oh no. No, not again. Nope. Been there once, not about twice. So, and also not only that, Bryan's feet gets caught in the rope, and I was like, wait, how the hell did this happen? That was pretty interesting. And I'm actually going to go back, as soon as this is done, I want to go back and see how Daniel Bryan's foot got caught on the rope. It was weird. You would have to see it. I can't really describe it. You would have to see it for yourself. I would have to say maybe his foot got caught between the middle and the top rope, and they got bent with each other. I think that was a pretty good way to explain it. And Daniel Bryan got caught on there after the slam, and then the referee was able to get him out. And then he hit him with another claw, with the other claw slam. He pins him 1, 2, 3. That's it. And they're attacking Daniel Bryan, Luke Harper and Rowan 2-on-1. Roman Reigns comes out, attacks Harper and Rowan. Daniel Bryan gets the mic and asks the fans if they want to see Roman and Bryan fight Rowan and Harper. The crowd does the yes chant, and while Bryan doesn't do it with them, he does get them excited. Yeah, he's just going around, going like that. He's getting everybody pumped up, and that's what the opening segment consisted of. Next here was the Kofi Kingston segment. Kofi Kingston is backstage in a sit-down interview with Michael Cole. So, Kofi says that there's no way to prepare for a beast like Brock Lesnar, but he's at the top of his game. He lists off the names he has defeated recently. He's asked if he feels pressure, and he responds that there's always pressure being the WWE champion. He says that people feel that Lesnar will have his way with Kofi, but it's not going to happen that way. He's feeling confident, and he'll walk out still champion. So yeah, Kofi Kingston is very confident. He should be. He's the babyface in this scenario, of course. He's the underdog. He's basically in that role that he's going to overcome all the odds in defeating Brock Lesnar because he is a fighting champion. He will do whatever it takes. He will go through it all to beat Brock Lesnar is basically what he's trying to say. So I cannot wait for this to happen. When Lesnar attacked him last week, I was like, Kofi Kingston, it's over, man. Your reign's done, buddy. Tick-tock, it is done. Because as soon as WWE landed that deal with Fox, remember Fox and UFC, Fox shows UFC, they show all the fights, the Fight Night stuff like that. And as soon as WWE signed that deal with Fox for SmackDown Live, I was like, yeah, Fox is gonna want their guy Brock Lesnar back on Fox TV. So Lesnar is probably gonna win the championship. I'm about to think that that's a common sense thing, but what if a double counter happens on the first episode of SmackDown on Fox? What if a disqualification happens? I think that has a really great chance of happening. But if I had to decide, I think Lesnar's gonna win on that first night. They're gonna want to make a bang. None of the shenanigans. Let's cut to the chase. Lesnar wins. That's it. Kofi Kingston's reign is done. We'll have a rematch in the future, but still, Lesnar is going to beat Kofi, in my opinion, on that day. Regardless, the title is coming off of Kofi and coming to Lesnar. And one thing that I have a suspicious feeling about is possibly Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That might happen. We might have to keep an eye on that. But that's just me saying that now. Next year was the Chad Gable versus Mike Kanellis. Before the match, Gable reiterates what Corbin said last week about how Chad will always come up short. He says his run in the King of the Ring and his match last night, he didn't, and Corbin got himself disqualified on purpose. Mike Kanellis comes out, he interrupts him, and he came out to prove to Maria that size does matter. Gable wins via submission after an ankle lock. After the match, Elias appeared on the Titantron. He says that Gable's story has inspired him to write a song. Elias sings it, and it's all about making fun of Gable's height. Yeah, Elias is a clown. We all know this. You give Elias a mic. You give him a stage. You give him a guitar. This guy will deliver. Elias is a beast when it comes to cutting promo. He's so good. He's so good at getting heat. I gotta give him that. And I actually think he's actually a pretty good in-ring wrestler as well. But the thing is that he's not really given that opportunity on WWE TV. I understand though, because WWE is pushing others, and I understand that. But just to see Elias back on TV, that's something good to see. And good on WWE for doing that. Next here is a backstage segment with Charlotte Flair when she walks up to R-Truth and she's like, we're Carmella, preparing for the match and stuff like that. And R-Truth is such a clown. He's like saying Carmella in a different name. He's like, who's I don't even know. I forgot the name he said. And then he called the 24/7 Championship something else. You can already imagine how that was. And after this was Charlotte and Carmella with R-Truth ringside versus Bayley and Sasha Banks. The 24/7 Championship rules are suspended during the match. That is something I want you all to listen to before, and keep that in mind while I'm going to give you of what happened during this match and the result. Just keep that in mind. During the match, Bayley turns Carmella. Bayley tells Carmella she's changed while she attacks her. Banks taps Carmella with a Banks statement. So, Banks tapped out Carmella here, and I noticed that some of the people in the crowd were pointing like, hey, is Sasha Banks not the 24/7 champion? No, because the rules were suspended. And actually, that's something I forgot. I was like, wait, what's going on? I was confused, and I was hoping that Sasha Banks wouldn't get that title, because that's how titles for comedy. Sasha Banks, get Sasha. This is Sasha Banks, and I don't even know what to get in my room here. I just don't. This is Sasha Banks, 24/7 title. Throw Sasha Banks all the way to the